Hello and welcome to Movement Relaxation, and welcome to Relaxation number 2. Please forgive me, I have a cold, but I didn't want to let this week go by after just starting last week and not put out a relaxation for you. I put a little Valentines theme background. You're not going to see it anyway, but there we go. All right, let's start as we usually do, lying on the floor, making sure there isn't anything in your way so you can move freely. Let's start by lying on your back, both knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Feel free to put something under your head if you need to. Let's put both hands on your belly and close your eyes. Taking a deep breath in and out. Feel your belly rise and fall with that breath. And again, in and out. Let's bring your attention now to your toes. With your feet flat on the ground, we're going to lift your toes and give them just a little wiggle. Gently and slowly at first, but then you can get a little faster. Wiggle the toes and then rest. Again, let's lift those toes. The whole foot is still on the floor. It's just the toes. Give them a little wiggle and rest. Now let's lift the foot, flexing the ankle, leaving those heels on the floor. Just flex those toes towards the ceiling, heel on the floor, and rest. Now we're going to do the opposite by lifting those heels, keeping the balls of the foot on the floor as if you're on tippy toes, and rest, bringing the heels back to the floor. Both feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent, eyes are closed. And let's do that one more time. We're going to lift those toes up to the ceiling, heels on the floor. Hold it there and rest. Now we are going to lift those heels off the floor, so the weight is on the ball of your foot, and hold it there and rest. Let's take a deep breath here, in and out. Let's now bring our attention to your hands. They're still resting on your belly. Now we're going to lift them off and just clasp your hands together. Interlock your fingers. This is the church. Here is the steeple. Open the doors and see all the people. Now let's close those doors. It's too cold for that. And we're going to clasp those hands together, tight. Squeeze those hands together, tight. Squeeze and relax. And one more time, we're going to squeeze all of those frustrations out. Squeeze those clasped hands together. Hold it and relax. And we're going to take another deep breath here, in and out. Keeping those hands together now, we're going to place the inside of your wrists on your belly and extend all those fingers up. So we're in a sort of namaste style position. Wrists on your belly, fingers pointed to the ceiling, palms together. Now gently we're going to lift those elbows, keeping the wrists on your belly. We're going to feel a slight stretch, whatever is comfortable for you, never push. Just lift those elbows, hold and rest. Hold it here, and one more time. Palms together, flat hands together, inside of the wrists on your belly and lift the elbows and hold and rest. And we'll take another breath in here and out. Now let's bring your hands back to whatever comfortable position you would like and relax. Let's move our attention now to the legs and hips. Those knees are still bent, feet flat on the floor. And now we are going to drop one knee to the floor. Whichever knee you'd like, we're going to let that knee fall to the side. So your thigh is resting on the floor. Your other knee is still bent, foot flat on the floor, knee pointing to the ceiling. And take a moment here. And let's bring that knee back. Now we have both knees back to our original position of knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and let the other leg fall to the side. The thigh is on the floor, the feet are together, and we'll just hold it here a moment. And let's bring those knees back together, feet flat on the floor, knees bent. One more time, let's take the original leg that you moved back down, let it fall open. Thigh on the floor, feet together, knees are bent. And we bring them back together. Both knees bent, both feet flat on the floor. And we'll drop the other leg down to the floor. Both knees bent, feet together. And let's bring them back to our original position, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Now we are going to take both knees, let them fall open, bottoms of your feet together, knees bent. We're not going to force it, we're just going to let them fall naturally. They may not fall very far, and that's fine. If you want to put your hands under your thighs to help, that's totally fine. We're going to take a breath here, in and out. And we're going to begin to gently rock your hips. So one knee gets closer to the floor and then the other, back and forth, loosening the hips and breathing. We're going to rock back and forth, and once you have rocked back and forth about 8 or 10 times, let's rest and bring those knees back together, feet flat on the floor and knees bent. And let's take a breath here, in and out. Now we're going to move along to our arms. Let's stretch those arms out to the side until we make a T shape on the floor. The knees are still bent, feet are flat on the floor, and the arms are outstretched in a T shape. Now we're going to reach and stretch those arms away from you on either side. Let's stretch your right hand to the right and your left hand to the left, stretching away from you, reaching the opposite sides of the room. Stretch, 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 and rest. And one more time now. Reach, stretch through the ends of the fingers, right from the shoulder all the way out to the tips of your fingernails. Stretch and rest. And we're going to do the same with the legs. We are going to outstretch the legs. You can either do it one leg at a time or both together, whichever is most comfortable for you. And we're going to stretch those legs and feet away from you, lengthening from your hips all the way down to your toes, lengthening, pushing the energy out through the tips of your toes, being very careful that you don't clench the toes, keeping everything long as the legs stretch away from you, from the hips, and rest. Let your legs flop in or out. Let the feet fall where is comfortable and natural for you. And let's do that one more time. We're going to stretch those legs away from you. Long legs. You can separate the legs. They don't have to stay touching together. Long, extended legs from the energy from the hip all the way out through the toes. Stretch, 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 and rest. And let's take a breath here. In and out. And now we're going to bring those hands that have been out in a T shape into your chest and clasp them together again. This time, no steeple, no chapel. We're going to extend these clasped hands upward towards the ceiling. Really reach those clasped hands upward, long. We're going to release the hands and slowly bring them back to the floor, creating an arc in a delicious croissant shape through the air until they rest on the floor in a T shape again. And one more time, let's clasp those hands and push them up towards the ceiling. Push the energy, come up through your shoulders, through your elbows, and release those hands. Make that arc of a beautiful butter pastry and back down to the floor and make that T. Let's take a deep breath here. In and out. We're going to bring both feet into our knee bent feet flat on the floor position one more time. And let's clasp one of those knees and pull it into your chest. You can hold your knee, your shin, whatever is comfortable for you. We're just going to hold it there. One knee is bent, but flat on the floor. The other knee is being held into your chest. And release back to the floor. And let's grab the other leg, bring it into the chest gently. We're not forcing anything, we're not pulling anything. Just hold and rest. Bring that foot back onto the floor, both knees bent. Now this time we're going to go back to the original leg that we take, and we're going to bring that into the chest again, clasping the knee or the shin, whatever's comfortable for you. But this time we're going to outstretch the other leg. So we have one leg into the chest and one long across the floor, reaching to the opposite side of the room. Again, don't worry about if your leg can't get completely straight. We're just extending that leg. And we'll bring that extended leg back in, foot on the floor, and bring the leg that was into the chest back onto the floor. And we'll take a breath here, in and out. And the other leg now, let's pull that into the chest as the leg on the floor reaches away from you. Again, it doesn't have to get completely straight. And pull the other leg into your chest ever so gently. And rest. Bring that outstretched leg in, foot flat on the floor, knee bent, and bring the leg from the chest back to the floor, feet flat on the floor. And as we start to wind down from a relaxation session, I would like you to take your time to roll onto your side and slowly make your way into a comfortable sitting position. However you'd like It's fine. We're just going to keep that head low as it's the last thing to come up. We're going to be sitting, whether it's cross-legged, legs outstretched, whatever's comfortable for you. Keeping in that sitting position with our eyes closed, gently bringing the head back onto the neck and sitting tall. Let's take a deep breath in this moment. And let's just think of all the beautiful French pastries in the house of worship of your choice. Have a good one.